Well, for better or worse, the state government, the Labor state government and the Sunshine Coast Council wants to jam another 180,000 people into the Sunshine Coast over the next 20 years. Now, we can stick our heads in the sand, or we can start to prepare for that sort of major explosion in population. So today I'm very pleased to announce the $5 million that the federal government allocated for a network planning study for the southern and central part of the Sunshine Coast. Part of that $5 million will be $2.6 million towards a business case for a new Kawana motorway to come off the Mooloolah River interchange. At the last budget in May, the federal government allocated $160 million, half the costs to build a new Mooloolah River interchange. And this business case that I'm announcing this morning will see a business case, a planning for a new road that will run parallel to the Nicklin Way. It will run west of the Kawana Linkway. And ultimately it will mean that someone can come off the Bruce Highway at Bells Creek and drive all the way to Noosa without getting one single traffic light. So this will quite revolutionise the way that we travel on the Sunshine Coast. It'll take a lot of traffic off the Bruce Highway, it'll take traffic off the Sunshine Motorway, and it will also take traffic off major arterials like Caloundra Road and Kawana Linkway. Now, as part of this funding, there's an additional $2 million for a business case to look at what we've got to do to upgrade the Kawana Linkway and Caloundra Road intersection. Now, we know that roundabout is under constant pressure because of the volume of traffic that we have on these roads. So this $2 million will look at how we need to upgrade that intersection, that major intersection, to enable free-flowing traffic along the Kawana motorway, which will stem into the Kawana Linkway and then also become Bells Creek Arterial all the way through to the Bruce Highway. The remaining $400,000 will basically enable us to get a helicopter view of the road network in and around Caloundra and see what upgrades need to be done over the next 10 years or so to enable freer flowing traffic.
I guess it's the sort of talk about these being needed for the congestion and safety. How bad, were these two projects picked specifically because the congestion and safety is specifically bad in these areas?
Well, we can either stick our heads in the sand and not prepare for future population growth, but we know already, just with the 330,000 people that are living on the coast now, the southern and central part of the Sunshine Coast is absolutely bursting at the seams. We do have traffic issues, we do have traffic problems now. Anybody who's driven along Kawana Linkway, Caloundra Road or the Nicklin Way would know that we have got traffic problems. But because the state government, the Labor state government and the Sunshine Coast Council wants to stick another 170 to 180,000 people in this part of the Sunshine Coast over the next 20 years, we've got to start preparing for the future. Now, it's interesting to note that the $5 million that the federal government is stumping up for these business case studies, the state government, of which these roads that we're talking about are 100% the responsibility of the state government. The state government is not putting a penny towards the cost of these business cases. Now, that's unfortunate, but it's typical of what we're seeing with a Labor state government that continues to really abandon the Sunshine Coast. So if they're going to abandon it, I, in all good conscience as the federal member, can't see this area just left to abandon by the state government. If they won't do it, then we have to start planning for the future, and that's exactly what we're doing today.
So what does sort of the timeline look like of this planning phase to hopefully actually having shovels and having these roads ready? What sort of process are we going through from now until then?
Well, both the major business case studies that we're announcing today will be due to be completed in the second and third quarter of 2022. As far as what those business cases then reveal, particularly with the new Kawana motorway that we are envisaging is required, we would expect to see that completed within the next 10 years.
Andrew, this new road, now, where's that going to traverse through? Is it going to be through already populated areas, land set aside? Give us a rough idea of that corridor. Where is it going to go?
Great question, Charles, and I was a little concerned about that very point myself, which is why I spoke with DTMR officials just yesterday. The new Kawana motorway will track the line of the Camcos corridor, which is where I want to see heavy rail brought in from Biawar station along the Camcos corridor and into the Maroochydore CBD, as opposed to Council's preferred plan of building a light rail. So this Kawana motorway, as I'm advised by DTMR, will track the Camcos corridor.
Now, when you say track, does that mean that
Will sit adjacent to it. It won't sit within it, as my understanding, but it will sit adjacent to the Camcos corridor.
DTMR basically said there's enough room to do both?
I have specifically asked the question whether this would impede upon the Camcos corridor being provided for heavy rail, and the answer to that is the new road would not impede or cause any problems with heavy rail from Biawar into Maroochydore.